Starting the stream. Receiving your content. And we're back for another episode where we get to continue this because my computer decided it didn't like it anymore. I'm actually going to blame Skype because the moment my computer booted back up, Skype needed to reinstall. So I'm going to blame Skype because it's a giant piece of crap. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, there's that.
So, where we left off was the thunderstorm hit. And on our little canoe trip with the boys, and the kids started freaking out a little bit because the raindrops were really big and they were like, it was coming down really hard. So, we kept paddling for a little while, but then it got to the point where it was raining too hard and it started getting too cold. So we pulled off the river, found a nice little tree to hide under, and my wife had thrown in some ponchos. She always does. Threw in a couple of ponchos in the dry bag, so we were to get those out and put them on the kids, and that helped them out, warmed them up a little bit, and yeah, so we got that going for us. But we were able to finish it off. We were able to finish off the trip. We made it back to camp, and the boys had so much fun that like they talked about it that night. They're like, the only thing they wanted to change was not get rained on. So they want to do it again. So we're talking about doing it next year, and next year we might do a little bit shorter of a float, which is about, they usually say it'll take about 4 to 6 hours to do, which will probably be a better range for them, and then we can stop and we can do like some more like exploring, and we can do some more like just playing in the river and that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely. Oh yeah, kids love water like that. So.
Oh yeah, and it was
except for when it's falling from the sky.
right, right. And it was fun. Like, one of the things that they loved doing the most was they would put on their life jackets and they would walk on the shore upriver, and then they'd jump in, like they'd walk out into the river, and then they would get in where the current was strong, and they'd just sit back and hold onto their life jacket, and they would just float down the river. And they get to about where we were, and they would have to like, turn and swim back in and stand up and then do it all over again. So they had a blast with that. So it was,
that's cool.
Found a couple rope swings. Both boys did got to go off a little rope swing that had been left out there on the river, and kind of, one of those you just grab onto and swing out into the river and let go and fall in. And the current river is a beautiful river anyway. So if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see a bunch of pictures up there, and they were. It's just absolutely gorgeous. One, it runs through a national forest and state park, and so it's not lined with houses or campgrounds or things like that. And the water is crystal clear. You can see the bottom up to about 7 feet deep.
Okay.
So that's how like crystal clear this water is. When you start getting a little deeper than that, then it's distorted enough that you can't really see the bottom. But if you're able to get the boat like in an area where the water's not moving, you could probably see up to 8 or 9 feet deep. It's just incredible. And you see all the fish, and you see wildlife. We got to see, we saw an otter running along the bank, and a little river otter, and saw a couple turtles, blue heron. So actually got to see a blue heron like land, like stand in the like land in the river, like over to the side, and we saw it just like standing there really still, and then all of a sudden its head just goes shoo, right into the water and pulls out a fish. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. Not every day you get to see that happen.
No, I don't think I've
So
ever seen that.
yeah, it was really cool. So highly recommend it. The campground we stayed at is Round Springs, and it's on the Current River. So it's really cool. And if we go down there in a non-COVID situation, the Round Springs actually has a cave that they do cave tours of, and but they're closed right now due to COVID. So next year we'll have to do it and go down there and actually get to do the cave.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that would be cool. It's funny that you say when it's non-COVID, it's the wife and I sit around and talk about it all the time. It's like I cannot wait for this to be over so we can do all this other stuff. Like
I
she
know,
wants to go
right?
on vacation really bad. I'm not getting on an airplane.
No, nope,
No way in hell am I getting on an airplane.
nope.
It's like we can go somewhere not crowded,
Yeah,
but I'm not getting on a plane.
yeah, and that's well, and it's kind of funny when we were camping. I mean, we're in a campground, but everybody's all spaced apart in a campground anyway. And so the people that were across the road from us, we kind of started talking to them because they had a big giant camper that they brought in, like a giant motorhome. This RV, the inside of it, well, one there was 9 people sleeping in the inside of this thing, so it's got to be
Holy
huge.
cow!
Yeah, it's just massive thing. We started talking to them. They're from Michigan, and they are just going around doing like they're just looking up state parks and rivers that they can float, and they own a couple of their own canoes that they've got coming with them, and then they just go do short little floats in different rivers, and they're down in southern Missouri. They were in Arkansas a couple days before. Like, man, that's just crazy. Like they're and from Eminence, Missouri, they were going to go to Ohio and do a river up there. And it's just like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. But that would be
That's
so awesome. Like,
that's definitely making social distancing work for you.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. And but you know, you got to enjoy camping too, because that's what we did. We just had a tent. We weren't staying anything fancy, and it was hot. So we had a couple battery fans that we had running in the tent
Oh
because
yeah, I bet.
otherwise it would have been, well, the first night still was unbearable, but the second night, Monday night, was a little bit better. But yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like a good time. I haven't been on a float trip. Oof, 25 years.
oh geez, yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while. Well, my wife, there's no way in hell she would enjoy a float trip.
no, no, I can't see Holly being a float trip person.
She's like, you think we should go on a float trip? It's like, no, no, I do
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I don't think she could handle that one.
It's
She's,
like, well, why not? It's like, well, first of all, you have to sleep in a tent. Well, couldn't we get like a cabin or a hotel room close by? No. Oh,
no, I mean, you can find some places that have cabins, um, but you're not finding a hotel anywhere close.
no.
No way, no way. Um, but yeah, it's we're actually planning. We enjoyed it so much. We got back and we're talking to our neighbors that we usually go on the adult float trip with, and we were just gonna skip an adult, not do one this year, just with everything going on. And um, we started talking to them, and they're like, "Man, we really want to go." And this, so they were like looking at weekends, like, "Well, school's gotten pushed back to after Labor Day now, so want to do something in August?" So last weekend in August, we're gonna go on an adult float trip back to the same campground. So yeah,
Why not?
hey, when you can't do much of anything else, you might as well take advantage of what you can do, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you talked about all the projects and stuff you've been doing. I was doing a lot of projects, and then it got hot,
Yeah.
and now I'm not doing any projects. Uh, yeah, it's. I hate wishing summer away, but I am looking forward to a little bit cooler of weather because this has been brutal.
This has been. And you know what else I've decided that I've hated this quarantine? Squirrels. I
Okay,
I
what did
hate
they do to
squirrels.
you?
So we have an we did a garden this year, and we did 2 rows of corn, and we probably have 10 stalks of corn. We pulled 4 ears off that were ready a couple weeks ago, and we had about another 10 or 11 ears on there that weren't quite ready yet. We get back this weekend. We get back after this. We go out there, all of them torn up, stalks broken, like all, and I'm pretty sure it's from squirrels.
Probably.
The damn squirrels ate my corn. I told Amber next year we're gonna have to figure one, we have to figure out what we can do to keep the squirrels away, and two, I'm buying a BB gun because like at least with a BB gun it won't be loud enough to freak the neighbors out, but it'll be strong enough to stop the damn squirrels.
Yeah, just get some chicken wire and enclose it while you're gone.
Yeah, I just like we've already got a fence that goes around it, but we'd have to do something over the top of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Squirrels,
it's tough.
man, that was probably the most frustrating part because we've got other things that are doing okay, and but we were gonna have a lot of corn coming in, and it was gonna it was all about the same size, and so it was all gonna be about the same time. We're like, all right, we're gonna be able to have a lot of corn, fresh corn on the cob, and yeah, nope, they're all gone. So
Squirrels took care of that for you.
yep, which is
Oh, that
annoying.
sucks, man.
But we still got some stuff out of it, and looks like we might get some. Fingers crossed, we got some cantaloupe starting, so maybe we'll get some cantaloupe out of it.
Ooh, that'd be great.
Cucumbers didn't make it. Um, they ended up dying out before they could produce anything, which is a bummer because we are really hoping to make some pickles, some homemade pickles.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I grew up where my parents had a garden all the time, and you'd think I had picked up some skills from that. No, I have the brownest thumbs in the world. I can kill anything, plant based.
yeah,
So, yeah, I tried to grow a garden one year. It was bad. It was so bad. Nothing survived really. It was
we
bad.
our gardens are a mishmash. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes not so good. This year we kind of got about 50%. Some of it was because of a dog. The first fence we put up was not strong enough, and the dog went and chased a bird right through the fence and tore up a bunch of stuff in the garden. So had to put up a stronger fence to keep the dog out. Um, but yeah, some of it just didn't turn out right. Yeah, it happens. Some seeds
Yeah.
don't. Some seeds take. Some don't. Some plants just don't get big enough to produce anything. But we had some. We did have some green beans. We did get potatoes. We've never done
Really?
potatoes before, and we did some potatoes this year. And we actually we went and harvested some potatoes because the first of all, I had no idea how you tell if a potato's done. If it's ripe and ready to be pulled out of the
Yeah.
ground because you can't see them. So apparently, it's when the plant, because potatoes are a root, so a plant grows up out of it. When that dies, then the potato is ready to come out. The problem is Unlike a carrot where where you just pull it out, like for a potato, you basically dig it up. Like, so if you have plants growing close to each other, then you're gonna kill one plant or several other plants to get whatever potatoes out. So Amber tried it in pots to make it a little bit easier, so you don't have to dig it out. You can just turn the pot over and dump it out, which worked, except for the fact that we only got 2 potatoes out of this pot when it looked like we were gonna get maybe 3 or 4. We did find some that were about the size of a peanut, so they had started, but not a but we got two. We got 2 that were probably about that big.
That's not bad.
Yeah, they're about the size of what you can get in the store. So that was kind of cool. We do
Yeah.
have so we've
It's
got a
funny that
couple.
you said that because the other day when I was talking to my parents who have a really big garden. It's like, I wonder if potatoes would grow in this part of the country. Apparently, they can.
Yeah, yeah, they've done pretty good. We've got a couple more pots that have stuff in them, so they're starting to get close to where we're gonna dig them up. But I think next year we'll do them. We probably won't do them in a pot. We're gonna use part of the garden that we have and just kind of, you know, spread them out a little bit more so that maybe more of them will grow. Because we're wondering if maybe they got stunted just because there's only so much room inside a pot.
Yeah, maybe they're like goldfish. They only get so big based on what their
Yeah.
confines are.
Right. Right. Maybe.
So
I don't
next
know.
year, now that you're into the root stuff, next year, do peanuts, and then you can roast them and sell them at soccer matches next year.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe we'll try that. I
We'll
don't. I've
get
never.
some paper bags that have Geekvice on them.
There you Look at you, always marketing, always marketing. That's awesome. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We tried onions. We did onions too. That's another root. Um,
The scallion type of onions or the bulb onions?
well, did you know that they're the same thing?
I did not.
So when an onion is growing, because the bulb is in the ground,
Right.
but there's the green stalks that come out that grow up out of the ground. Those are your green onions.
And then the bulb underneath is the yellow
Yep.
onions we get in the store.
Yep.
See, Geekvice is educational.
I did not know this, and here's the other thing, the kind of cool thing about the onions that we did, is that these onions weren't done from seeds, they were done from onions that we bought at the store.
Oh, really?
So you can actually, like, you get an onion and on one side it kind of still has the roots on one side of your onion that you get from the store. When you cut those ends off, right, before you use them, you can actually take that part that you cut off and put it in water, and the green onions will start growing out of the top and the roots will start expanding out the bottom. And then once they get, you get a good amount of root system going, you can actually transplant those into dirt and they will grow. They'll grow more onions, or at least they're supposed to. We haven't dug these up yet, but the green onion parts are really tall, so I'm hoping
Dang.
that the onion underneath is big.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's
Be very
it's kind of the part of, like, half this stuff I don't even really eat, but it's just kind of the cool part of, like, oh, look at that, we made that out of nothing. Like, that was a scrap that we were gonna throw away, and we turned it into something. That's kind of the part that I enjoy. So
Yeah, that's really cool. So, at any point during that, did you kind of sit back and go, "Man, that was kind of an adult thing to do"?
yeah, there's been a lot of times where I look at this and I go, man, this is all my wife. It's her idea. I help execute the plan, but it's really her idea. And she's the adult out of the 2 of us. I'm just a big giant kid. I got a whole stack of puzzles that I've been doing that are sitting over here. I'm doing playing video games and goofing off. I do have um, something that will it's going to get a full review in a later episode, but you've heard me talk about ghost fighting treasure hunters on this
Yes.
show. There's an expansion to ghost fighting treasure hunters.
Oh, nice.
It's called the Creepy Cellar, and I bought it, and we've played it, and it's awesome. And so yeah, the game, I love the base game. The expansion, the best part is that the rules for it actually says this is nightmare mode. If you want an easier version, go look at the other options. This like
No kidding.
yeah, this game is gonna be hard, and it's funny because my kids played it, and I'm pretty sure they broke the rules because kids don't like losing.
Right.
My wife, all
Yeah,
four
it's
of
just
us,
kids. Yeah.
yeah, my wife and I played it with the kids tonight, and we lost handedly. We only got about halfway done before the house was overrun by hauntings. But um, great game, changed up some of the mechanics. Just really didn't change things, added to it. That's the best part. You don't have to relearn any rules because
Okay.
all the rules that were already there are still there. They've just added to it, which is a great to me is a great way of doing it. It almost feels like this was the like this is the game that they wanted to do from the beginning, but for whatever reason took some of the left out part of it and just did this did the base game. Whether they intended to make an expansion or just weren't sure, maybe the game was they felt was too complicated. Um, but it's great. It's super great. So
Yeah, I look forward to the review. One
I'll
day, I hope
bring
to
that
be able
down.
to do a board game review because I have two brand new board games sitting here that have yet to be played.
What board games do you have there, Mister
Well,
Kid?
we talked about Catan Starfarers,
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then I got this. My
Oh well, your background is gonna kick that
Yeah, I'm trying
off.
to get it so the background.
Nope, because the moment you
It's
pull it over,
Disney's Villainous.
I want that game.
It is so cool. The components are fantastic.
Yeah,
I've watched some how to play videos. I've read the rules. It's like, well, this game is not super complicated. I mean, look at those things. It's hard to see. Here we
if
go.
you hold it right in front of you, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's freaking awesome. But yeah, I have a couple of people that we've been talking about getting together to play some games, but it just hasn't worked out so far. But we're going to, and that's good. Villainous is going to be the first one we play, so I'll be able to review it at that point.
Yeah, I have never played it. I have watched it played a couple times. Um, Joys of online videos, and it is at the top of my list, but I haven't convinced the family yet that we need this game. So
Yeah, yeah. It's well, thanks to the boys at Prolific Games, I dig take that kind of games because of Flapjacks.
oh yeah,
So this has got a little bit of that in it, which I'm looking forward to taking advantage of.
yeah, and that's the one part of it. If I can get some, I just need my youngest son. I need him to get a little bit older, a little bit more into it, and because he is definitely the kind of kid. He has the personality that take that mentality of I'm gonna shove it in your face, but he's so much young, like he's younger, and so he doesn't understand the strategy involved in take that. type games, and so he usually ends up trying to give people like crap, and then he gets it right back at him too much, and he can't handle it. So, um, so I just need him to get a little bit older so that he can handle the shit that comes back at you when you play these games.
Yeah.
But
You got to be able to take it if you're going to dish it out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So once I get it played, I'll let you know how it goes. And
awesome.
sometime you'll have to join us and play yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd love it. Let's see what
Yeah.
else we got. Oh, let's see, movies. Been watching some movies too. Watched the new Trolls movie, World Tour. I give
Sorry.
that a like a solid C or C minus. I thought it was there. It was okay. It was an average movie. It's a kids movie. They left a lot of. It could have been so much better than what it was. They had an opportunity to do some stuff with music and the blending of genres, and that's really what makes music. It's not all these individual. It's it's not just pop. It's not just classical. It's not just country. It's not just rock. It's when you combine things and you intermingle stuff. And it could have been a perfect play on society and the world of, hey, if we all just come together, we're better together than we are apart. They had a really good opportunity to do that, and play that real moral card, and they didn't, and I thought that was a shame. But it was there. We
It was
did
there.
watch, yeah, we did
It was
watch.
there.
We did watch a Disney Plus movie. We watched Artemis Fowl on Disney Plus. It's a movie that was supposed to come to the theaters and went straight to Disney Plus because of this COVID, and it's based off the book series, which we haven't read. And I actually thought the movie was really good. Now, when I started reading the reviews and the critics, they were saying that there are a lot of the problems that people had with the movies was because they took a lot of liberties with the book. So it kind of makes me want to go read the book. Because it kind of feels like Did you ever see the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief movie?
Yeah, but I don't remember it.
Well, it's good. That's about what I was going for. That movie was forgettable and kind of lame, but the book was really, really good. The book,
Point taken.
so you played right into that one. I love it. Yes.
Was not planned. Special effects by accident.
Yeah, that was in the script, guys. The script.
Yes.
But so I kind of feel like the Artemis Fowl could have fallen into that same trap where there was so much in the book that they couldn't put it all into the movie. So that's kind of a shame because I thought this movie was actually pretty good, but I knew nothing about the book. So it kind of makes you want to go read the book and
Yeah.
see how that goes. But
The wife and I enjoyed it as well. And then I see reviews on YouTube and stuff, and everybody panned it.
yeah,
But I freaking liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was pretty decent.
yeah, and I like the idea. I think that was the part of it that I liked the most was I liked this concept. I liked the
Yeah.
idea that these two worlds were. It reminded me a lot of a better version of Bright. Did you ever watch Bright on Netflix with
Oh
Will
yeah.
Smith? I thought that was. I thought that could have been better than what it was. I liked the
Yeah.
concept of what was there, but I felt like the movie left a lot of stuff wanting. I felt like Artemis Fowl kind of is that same thing, except I thought they did it better. Like I thought maybe it wasn't like world class level good, but it was better than Bright, and it had that same concepts of everybody living together. We're all there, but we're all we're segregated type thing.
Yeah, Artemis Fowl, I think would have been better if they would have done it as a limited series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 5, 6 episodes so they could get it all in
Yep.
and
And
I think
then
that worked
yeah,
fantastic.
because instead of being an hour and a half long, it could have been a total of 5 or 6 hours long, and you could have gotten a lot more information out. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was based on the first 2 books of the series.
Oh,
That's a
really?
lot of information for 90 minutes of film.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize it was the first 2 books, even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That is a lot.
if you do an hour and a half, that's British. If you do an hour and do six, you got 6 hours of content.
But it's,
You
I
can
mean,
cover a lot of ground.
yeah, and they could even, but I mean, they could even go longer with it being Disney Plus. They don't have to hold themselves to an hour long episodes.
No,
I mean, they could go an hour and 20 minutes. They could go an hour and 10, hour and 30. Hell, they could go 2 hour long episodes, and no one's gonna bat an eye at it. If it's good, nobody cares. So,
true.
yeah,
Yeah, but I still, for what it was, I liked it. I was entertained. Um, I liked the kid.
yeah,
I liked the kid who played Artemis Jr., I guess is.
yeah. Well, and I like Colin.
Wasn't
I
his
like,
dad's name Artemis as well?
yep, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just call him AJ, Artemis Jr. He was
There
pretty
you
good.
go. Yeah,
The
Judy
uh,
Dench.
the fairy, whatever she was in the army,
Oh yeah.
she was adorable as hell, and she was good actor, and I don't know.
I like the guy who played Munch too. I like
Josh
that.
Gade.
Yeah, like I like that. I thought he was really good too. I thought that was. I felt like all the actors were really good.
Yeah,
Judy Dench
I
looked old, but
I watched a couple of YouTube videos where they just talked about how this was the worst movie ever, and I'm like, maybe my expectations are so low that
well,
I can enjoy these things, or theirs are so high they can't enjoy anything. I don't know which one it is.
and I think a lot of it comes down to source material. I really do. I think it becomes
Well,
be, because I think the same way can fall like if you know the source material so well and you enjoyed it so much and then because I could see there were lots of holes in this movie. There were lots of
oh
parts where
yeah,
you kind of look at like, man, I wish they gave us more on this or I wish they gave and I bet you those people that knew all that information that they left out because that's the way I felt about the Percy Jackson movie. I was really disappointed with the Percy Jackson movie because the book was way better. But the book was never intended to be an hour and a half long movie. It had to be. It was going to be a 3+ hour movie just to get that one book, and I can see this one falling into that same problem, and I can see people being upset with that, and they have every right to be because if you leave out information or you change the story in a way that goes away from where it could have gone or where the book went, that can be annoying. I get that. That's been my big complaint with X-Men movies. So I mean,
yeah.
I hear
Well,
them.
speaking of streaming services movies,
Okay,
did you get a chance to watch The Vast of Night?
I have not. I I don't think I've no, because that's the one you sent me later. I have not watched
Yeah,
that one. I don't
it's
think.
on Amazon Prime. It takes the time period in the movie is like the 50s, early 60s, and it's starts off kind of like it's a Twilight Zone episode kind of a thing, but then you just get into the movie and it's basically a UFO alien invasion kind of thing,
Mm.
but it's so well done and it's not like anything you've seen before.
All
Um,
right.
when we were watching it, it's basically following 2 characters around, having nothing to do with aliens or UFOs or anything. They're just doing stuff. And the whole time I'm like, man, my wife's got to be hating this. And then finally I got up the nurse, said, well, what do you think? She's like, I'm loving this. It's like, oh, thank God. Because I didn't want to turn it off. So, So yeah, I highly recommend giving that a shot. The Vast of Night on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give anything away other than it's a UFO movie,
Yeah.
but it's not hokey. They don't kill you with CGI. Um, it's just small town. I think they're in New Mexico, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yep. That's what I said in IMDb.
Yeah, and they just give you little hints that something's going on, but you don't know what it is, and then it just builds up slowly and slowly, and then finally at the end, you're like, "Holy shit, that was so cool!"
That's cool.
So I
Yeah.
like it when a movie catches me off guard like that.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Now, right now, me and the kids are watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, trying to make it through all 3 seasons of that. Um, because there's some new stuff that is Netflix original that they're going to be putting out here. That's supposed to be coming out here soon. Um, and then I'm still sitting here crossing my fingers, hoping that Marvel on Disney Plus, some of those TV shows will come out. I think there's talk about something coming out the end of this year, but it's not one of the MCU type series. It's more of like the creator docu series type stuff. Um, so still kind of waiting for those to come in. Um, actually, have been going back and watching, trying to catch up on The Flash, and was enjoying it. And then I tried to go and watch Arrow, and really didn't. Kind of got was having a hard time watching it, so I don't know that I'm gonna get caught up on Arrow, even though that series is ending soon. If it hasn't already, I don't know. That's how far behind I am.
Wow.
Um,
I thought I'm way further behind than you
yeah.
are.
I mean, I was enjoying them up to a point, and then it kind of like Arrow falls into that trap where it does the same thing over and over again. Every season, you kind of have the same. You have one of 3 tropes that it follows. Either Oliver Queen's angry and wants to go back to killing everybody, um, or he has been accused of being the Arrow and he has to like convince everybody he's not, or um, or he's arrested and put in jail or captured or something, and through most of it, or he's given it up, like, so somebody else has to be the Arrow, or other people have to pick up the slack while he can't do it. And I turned on an episode, or I started a season of it from I don't know, a couple seasons ago. Actually, maybe last season, and just wasn't. Just fell into that same trope, and the episodes felt stale, and so I was like, nah. I went and watched something else instead. So
Yeah, we started watching Merlin, and we kind of felt that way too. Like it's just the same thing over and over again, so we stopped watching.
yeah, the Merlin with that was the U.S. broadcast of Merlin, wasn't it?
Uh,
Who's in that one? Do you remember?
John Hurt is the voice of the dragon. Um, Couple of people I never heard of. The guy who's in Ender's Game plays Mordred at the beginning, but he's a little kid.
Oh, it's not the BBC version, is it?
I think it is.
Uh,
Yeah, the guy who plays
Because I really like that one.
Merlin.
Oh, that is, yeah. Colin Morgan.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh man, because that I enjoyed that one, but I watched it. I watched it shortly after it came out. I watched it probably about no, um, probably 5 6 years ago. But yeah, that I could see that it not standing up. One that's really good, that's good that you could check out. That's a BBC version is Robin Hood. That version of I thought was really good.
Yeah, we watched that when it was actually out in its
Yeah,
first run. It was good.
yeah, yeah. Because
Oh,
I
and I
watched that one
finally
too.
saw the Joaquin Phoenix version of Joker.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that one later.
Yeah. I can sum the entire movie up in one word. Actually, three words. Dark as fuck.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah. So, yeah. Well,
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that sometime because I thought, you know what, it's gonna be fine. I don't think I can ever watch it again.
yeah. I'll have to watch it. I've got it. I just haven't watched it yet. But I also have the Birds of Prey, the Emancipation of Harley Quinn. Um,
Oh, do ya?
I do. I haven't watched it yet, but I have it.
I'm
Um,
hoping it's good.
Me too. I don't know that it will be, but I'm hoping it's good. Another movie that I haven't watched yet, but I want to. It's on my list. Is uh, The House with a Clock in the Wall.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
have you heard of this movie?
I've heard of the movie. Is that a Jack Black?
It sure is.
Yeah.
But Jack Black, from my understanding, does not play a Jack Black type character. It's a much more mystical, serious, well, as serious as you can be when magic's involved. So he's like an old uncle, or it looks cool. It looks like a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that it is. So um, I don't know.
The
It's on my
trailers look
list.
good. I
Yeah,
didn't see the movie, but I thought the trailers looked pretty decent.
it's on my list, and I might actually end up getting that in this weekend because we're talking about it's supposed to be hot this weekend, and so we're talking about this is our first weekend where we haven't been busy, so we're talking about just having like a chill weekend, maybe watch some movies and watch some TV and just hang out. So might be able to get some of these done.
Yeah, that's going to be a good weekend for it.
Yeah.
Staying
So
indoors, sucking up the AC.
yeah, right. But yeah, here coming up, we've got lots of stuff that we've watched or things that we can do full on reviews for. We'll have some board games coming up. We're gonna have some movies coming up. We're gonna have some TV shows coming up because I've got a couple of TV shows that we've watched that I want to talk about. Plus, I've got some video games coming up that I have one game that I have already completed, which I don't think I've talked about on any of the shows yet. Plus, I'm hoping to finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey here soon, plugging away at that. And I picked up a. Um, I will say that I've picked up two more video games. Um, One of them is it's a rogue-like card game. It's called Slay the Spire, which is a lot of fun. I know it's been out for a long time. One of this game has been out for a long time. The other one that I got, Mr. Kip, you might be excited for.
Okay.
It is a video game take of a board game, uh, and a board game that I'm pretty sure you wish you owned and had time to play. Gloomhaven.
Oh, really? They're doing a video game of Gloomhaven.
And it's the video game is being done by this, like, with the, well, the same people who made the board game are involved in writing the rules and making the video game. So setting so all of it is going to be very Gloomhaven specific. It is still in beta testing right now. It is in early access on Steam, and it went on sale for the summer sale. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna pick this up in the before it goes full release, and because I'm expecting this thing to become a huge hit and really good. They are taking their time and working it all out. So I'm expecting this to be a full-on Gloomhaven experience in a video game format where I can enjoy Gloomhaven without having to go, have a gaming group that I can get together with every week and play. So.
And you don't have to spend $200 on the board game.
And I don't have to wait like 7 years to get it because it seems to always be out of stock.
Yeah, I'm jealous of the people who can buy that game and play it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Because, I have a little tiny villainous game. I can't get to the table.
Right. Yeah. So a big campaign game like that. That's what I've heard. I've thought about it, and but I wouldn't be able to play it. I don't have enough. I don't have enough people. I don't have enough time to be able to say, all right, every week we're gonna get together and play this, and that just doesn't seem to work. So.
Right. Absolutely.
But
I get it. That's why there's a bunch of games like that I do not own.
Yeah, really looking forward to getting that and getting into it and playing it. So.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you think.
Yeah. I'm been holding off on getting into the early access because I want to be able to experience it full on once it's all done. But I might get in and play like a little tutorial part or a little beginning part just so I can see the experience of it. But yeah, looking forward to that. Plus, looking forward to the new Assassin's Creed game when that comes out at the end of this year too. So, I'm actually thinking. I've had multiple people tell me that I should get that game early, or get that game when it comes out and put it on our YouTube channel. Do a whole series on that one, which I might just do because I really like it. And the rumors that I keep hearing are they are kind of moving away from the typical Assassin's Creed games and trying to make it more like Witcher 3, which was an amazing game and I absolutely loved it. So, because Vikings are not really known for their stealth or their assassinations, so it kind of fits and kind of seems like that's a good play, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually works out. But,
well, I look forward to seeing the stream on that bad boy.
yeah, right? All right. Well, this time we've been going for 50 minutes, and the time before that, before the crash, was another 20 minutes. So I think we've gone on long enough, and we should probably stop talking.
Yeah, we've been talking in generalities. We'll have to next time around actually dive into something.
Yeah, we will. We will start building some actual show notes and actually have some topics for us to talk about, and we'll try to steer in this randomness of generalities into some specific conversations. So, yeah.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's like you're going to be coming into a whole different thing. We take 6 weeks off, and all of a sudden it's like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, I think we've proven tonight that that's not the case.
Right. All right, everybody. Well, you know the drill here. Go check out the blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekvice. You can follow that man over there on Twitter at Kip Killigan. You can follow me at Geekvice. And, of course, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to see me play video games, or get back into playing video games when Assassin's Creed Valhalla comes out, you gotta go over to YouTube, search for Kip Morph. We're the only Kip and Morph on YouTube. You don't have to worry about that. Nobody is stealing that from us. So go check us out over there, subscribe, hit the little button to get notified when we go live, and you can watch our live streams of these podcasts too. So, and of course, as always, you can reach us by email at geekvice@gmail.com. Thanks everyone for listening to our ramblings, and we will see you next week.
Later.
This podcast is part of the Podcast Arcade Network.